There we go. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Melanated Council of Yang live stream. We are here with our special guest, Heidi. And Heidi, how do you pronounce your last name? Because I've been practicing.
That's the big question. I know. It's Briones.
Briones, okay. We have Heidi Briones.
Is that French or something?
It's actually Spanish. It's Hispanic. My dad's Hispanic. Half of my family's Mexican, and then my mom is like Russian and a little bit of German. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I did not expect that. I didn't mean it like that. All right.
I mean, I'm just happy I've been pronouncing your last name correctly in my head this whole time.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's always good. It's always a good sign. You're like, I'm not completely off here. This is great. Yeah. It looks harder than it is. It's pretty phonetic actually, but it looks confusing. Yeah. I've heard all kinds of things. They used to call me like brownies, like in elementary school. They'd be like, Heidi Brownies and stuff like that. They're like, all right, that's cool.
That's terrible. That is terrible. No, you have to.
I've been called worse than that. That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. So Heidi.
Yeah.
You ran for District 1, and Portland's actually in District 1, isn't it?
Yeah. Part of downtown Portland is in District 1, and other parts of West Portland are also in District 1. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, how do you feel about the situation going on down there with all the federal agents flooding the city, just throwing people into these unmarked vans? How do you feel about that?
I felt pretty awful about it. I mean, I felt pretty terrified of what's been going on in my city. I think it's sad. It's sad because everything started for a good reason, to protest racial injustice and what happened to George Floyd, and that's all admirable. And unfortunately, there are some people that decide to take things too far and do things that I don't necessarily agree with. I mean, I don't necessarily condone or condemn, because I understand their feelings and what they're going through, and it's the response makes sense based on how bad things are. But when that happens, then, especially when you have somebody in the White House like Trump, who's, definitely willing to do this type of authoritarian, action, then you end up with an overreaction. And instead of a de-escalation, you end up with an escalation, and then things get worse. And that's what I've seen really, is that there were mostly very peaceful, well-meaning, protesters, for coming out for a great cause. And then a small percentage were, doing graffiti and certain things that, destroying certain property and things that, obviously are going to warrant some kind of a response. And then you have an overreaction, and then things get even more intensified. But I am glad that they're getting out, that they're making their way out of Portland. That I am happy about that. And I think that will de-escalate the situation and bring us back to a peaceful protest, which is what was going on in the first place. 99% of it was very peaceful, and, people actually, it was, coming out for a beautiful cause, and it turned into something different, which is unfortunate. But I'm hoping that things will de-escalate now that they are making their way out.
Nice.
Nice. So you said there was some people out there who were doing damage and riots. How bad was the damage? Like, did you see any of it?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, I went down there one day. This was more at the beginning, to kind of check out the whole scene. And my wife and I walked around to see the actual damage. And it was pretty bad. I mean, there was a lot of store windows boarded up or destroyed. There was a lot of anti-capitalism graffiti. It was not, I did not see a lot of, George Floyd, racial injustice type of things. I saw mostly like fuck capitalism, literally, or like fuck this company. Like if it was a corporation like Apple or whatever, like just like ATMs destroyed. like anarchy symbols. And a lot of it didn't have anything to do with George Floyd. So I was, a bit disheartened to see that because it had nothing to do with what was really, being protested during the day. There were some people coming out at night and taking their opportunity to do this. And that made me, just disheartened. I felt sad about it because that's not what the purpose of what was going on. So the damage was bad. I mean, the Apple store was pretty crazy bad. That's just gone. I don't even know. I haven't checked it out recently, but it was all glass and it's right in the middle of downtown. So that was just totally destroyed and glass everywhere, and they were cleaning it up. But yeah, I was a bit disturbed. I'm not gonna lie, because I just didn't see what I would hope to see. I mean, what I would love to see is it to be about George Floyd and racial injustice, and have it be something beautiful. We could just chalk everywhere, beautiful messages, or we could put flowers all over. There's so many different ways that we could remember him and respect his memory. And I didn't feel that vibe. It felt like something different. So I was a bit disappointed and concerned about what was going on.
Heidi, what's your opinion on the Portland or its surrounding areas police force? Police brutality in certain areas is astronomical, horrific, but in places like mine where it doesn't, or situations like what happened with George Floyd don't happen quite nearly as much. How do you feel about them in general?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I haven't lived here a very long time. I've lived here a couple years. Overall, I haven't had any negative experiences with the Portland police. But then again, I mean, I'm a white woman, so I mean, that's my limited experience. And I haven't seen any police brutality in Portland. I personally didn't see anything, but that's a very limited, aspect of what I've seen. I think that, overall, I think that the police in general, just the whole institution of it is, the problem. And wherever you're located, I mean, I think that you will see certain things like this going on. I mean, when I grew up in Los Angeles, all the time, I saw police brutality. All the time. I saw it. I remember I used to take the train from Long Beach area, Orange County area where I lived, into downtown LA, where I had a job for a while. And I saw horrible things just right there taking the train. You would see people getting arrested and it was just a normal type of thing that you just understood, in certain parts of California that, it's dangerous to be a Black person in that area. And I also lived in Oakland before, so I've lived in places where I saw actual police brutality. I honestly haven't much in Portland, but that's a very limited knowledge that I have. I haven't lived here long enough or seen a whole lot, so my feelings about the Portland police are generally neutral right now. I didn't actually see anything myself, but other people definitely might feel differently. If they've been involved in protests here, they've seen other things, and so I definitely respect whatever people have seen in their experience. The statistics still show, that overall, racial injustice is a major problem. Criminal justice is a problem, and the institution of policing has become a problem. So I think that some of these ideas are universal, and everybody has their own experience. But I hope that we can all realize that we need a better way forward everywhere.
Agreed.
Oh wow.
Agreed.
I like that.
Agreed.
Yeah, I got a question. Well, I've had a lot of questions so far. Sorry, you just such an interesting person. I like this. Heidi, when you were running for the House District 1 seat, what were some problems that you didn't expect to see that you saw?
Yeah. Actually, mainly the biggest problem people had was housing, affordable housing. Was the main concern, I think, and also homelessness. They kind of go hand in hand. It's not exactly the same issue, but those two things I think were a lot worse than I really anticipated once I was talking to people a lot and really doing some research of the district. yeah, I did not anticipate it would be such a huge problem. Hi, Trevor. So housing has gone skyrocketed up in Portland, like a lot of places in the country, and it's become unaffordable for most people. I mean, you add that to the fact that, there's just been we've been in an economic crisis for almost my entire adult life in some respect. So you add that on top of that, and then you have a homelessness issue because you have people that have mental health issues that are not resolved. You have people that are, getting addicted to drugs because they're unhappy, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to the fact that they're not flourishing, like they're not able to flourish in this society, and you feel like making yourself feel better. And then all those things combined, equate to poverty, homelessness, and we see it everywhere, even in, our district, which is not necessarily, it's not really low income. It's actually on the higher aspect, but there's still tons of poverty, and it's right there for you to see, just tents everywhere, tent cities all over Portland. And it's incredibly sad and devastating to see the poverty level here.
Whole tent cities?
Lots of tent cities everywhere, and it's very sad. I mean, I wish that there was a better solution. Obviously one of my solutions that I love is giving people money. I mean, people need money. I'm sorry, but like, there's nothing wrong with giving people money so they can get a leg up. And then with that, of course, I do think affordable housing is very important, and we do need to have more affordable housing. But I wish that, I think a lot of people did. I made some ads about homelessness, and universal basic income, and I think a lot of people did attach to that and realized that, we need to do something about this problem. And the government has spent so much money on homelessness in Portland to little or zero results. It's just not working. Whatever they're doing is not working, and we need to do something radically different. And to me, that's putting money into people's hands so they have the power to solve some of their problems. I mean, a lot of homeless people want to improve their situation. They're trying, every single day they're trying to improve their situation, but they might get robbed. Something happens. They can't keep their phone bill up even though they're trying to get a job, and then their phone's off, so they don't get a call back. All these things can happen because you don't have money coming in steadily and access to it. And it's not just a housing problem, but that's definitely part of it. You don't want people to have to live in like weekly motels and hotels like they have to when they're in this situation. We want to have dignity for humans. So that's the main thing that I saw, I would say.
Oh, wow. I want to shift focus down to like your campaign earlier this year. Or was it this year? Man, 2020 has been a long year.
So long, man. 10 years ago.
It's been about 3 years long this year.
So let's say you go back to the very beginning of your campaign. If you could go back knowing what you know now, what would you change?
God, I don't think I would have run, to be honest, because I didn't know Corona was going to be a thing. I decided to run right after Andrew dropped out, and that was like February 12th, I believe, the day after. And I did not know coronavirus was going to be a big thing. I heard about it a couple times, but I've heard about these things before. I heard about H1N1, and you hear about bird flu, swine flu. These things, and they overall stay like in one area. They stay in Asia or something, and like it doesn't spread like this. Nothing's ever been this big. Hey, sober child. So yeah, essentially, I don't know if I would have run, to be honest, because it was really hard. Like the things that I wanted to do and the things that we wanted to accomplish, I just couldn't do. Like I had Yang Gang that was ready to come and sleep on my floor, and we could go door knock every day. Like we were gonna like really go at it really hard, but those things just weren't possible. I just couldn't gather people like in the way that I would have liked to, and everything became digital, which is so much harder when you're a grassroots candidate. So much harder. Like you need to knock on doors. You need to talk to people face to face so they can see who you are and that you're a real person and that you're really fighting for them. And that's the type of time when I would shine, that's normally my wheelhouse. It's like right in front of somebody. So I had to do everything video and ads, and it felt like kind of unnatural, but I was still able to do fairly well. But I would say I might not have run, which is maybe it's a good thing that I didn't know what I know now, because I still think it's worthwhile that I did run. But if I had that extra knowledge, yeah, maybe I wouldn't have. But what I tell people that are thinking about running is, definitely go for it. Thank you. I'm coming too. But I tell people to go for it. I tell people to focus on fundraising right out the gate. And so I'm glad that Erica Rhodes did that and raised a ton of money right off the gate, right at the jump, because that's what you need to do. And that's the advice that I gave her, and she followed it. And I think that she's going to be very successful, because you just need it. You need to have that seed money at the beginning. There's so many things you got to set up. Hey, Anna.
Oh, hey, Anna.
Yeah, I think that everybody's coming on like one by one. So shout out to the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys are always showing love. We appreciate you guys. Those,
for sure.
that come in, jump out, leave a comment, whatever. We appreciate you guys. You have no idea.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But Heidi, I don't like, even though you say you wouldn't have run, I'm glad you ran, because you were just because you were the first normal person I knew who just hey, I'm gonna run for this position. And I think you had a hand in starting the wave of candidates that are going to run in 2022. You have a really bigger reach than you now, and to come from where you came from and rose all the way to second place in your primary with COVID, doing everything digitally. I mean, it was a really big accomplishment, and for that, I really do thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's what the point was. So I guess I am glad that I did. Thanks, Trevor. But yeah, I guess I am glad that I did. Like I said, it's probably better sometimes not to have that knowledge ahead of you, because if you have that knowledge, sometimes you don't act because you're that's too much. So sometimes it's better to just be blindly naive and kind of just go for it, So that's kind of what I did. And I really hoped, to inspire more people to run, to motivate people to keep the movement going, to be no, we don't have to stop this momentum. Let's keep it going. Let's make sure that the things that we were fighting for still happen, because that's the saddest thing to me is if I see or if I saw the Yang gang dissipate or to, become divided, factionized. And some of that is happening, which is sad to me. But I didn't want to lose what I had and that energy I had. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, it was incredible to see, Anna.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I know. Ronald, you've gotten involved with your local politics lately.
Yes. And so I know that a lot of times, a lot of people, they don't publicize the local politics as much. As far as your aspect, Heidi, do you have anybody locally that you're supporting that you probably want to kind of share with the world of what's going on and things of that nature?
I don't right now. Most of our elections, as far as local, I believe they already happened because they happened in May, as opposed to the general. So a lot of things were decided for city council positions and things like that. I don't have anybody local currently that I'm supporting. I'm still a bit new to local politics and state level politics here. But yeah, I would like to get more involved and definitely learn more about it, because local is where a lot of things happen. My focus was always just federal. So just because I feel the problems that I want to solve are nationwide. I just don't have the local knowledge of the issues currently. My focus was national, but there's definitely were a lot of great candidates running them, and that the election already passed, and unfortunately a lot of them lost that I did but I hope to support them in the future, or maybe I'll be one. Maybe I'll be a local candidate or a state level candidate one day, but we'll see.
Okay, nice. It is good because I know that a lot of people they tend to focus on the bigger races like our presidential races and our congressional races, and not necessarily more aware of the state and local races, which
Yeah.
more so kind of plays into the national races due to the fact that depending upon what happens at the state and local level kind of trickles up in a way towards those national races. And so I think what you said is very key, that a lot more people should kind of get involved in those local races, and especially with the local politicians, due to the fact a lot of them that are running local, they're from the area. Like there's one candidate that I'm supporting. Her name is Amy East. I don't know if she's watching this or not, but she's on the Twitter and whatnot, and she's local, very local, and like you, she's very much grassroots. And so she's been doing a lot of things that, like here in Michigan, a lot of the door knocking we can't do yet because of the fact that since everything is local and we don't get like a ton of money coming in to kind of support her race, it makes that much harder to kind of get her name out. So I feel you on that one. Definitely feel you on that one.
Yeah. It is difficult, but I definitely suggest everybody do it. I mean, if you have, a local issue you care about, if you're, a part of your community, definitely see what's available to run for locally. And a lot of those people run unopposed. So, I mean, you might be surprised at how easy it could be to get some of these spots, or some of the spots are just completely open and you just have to just sign up pretty much, like to be like a precinct chair. I think it's called different things, different places, but you could be like a precinct captain or whatever they call it in so many different areas and influence local politics. And you probably don't even have to like campaign, to be honest. Some places you can just put your name on there and there's nobody else on there. So it's like you're just default win.
Yeah.
So definitely look into that, because I mean that could lead to a congressional run or higher later, or it could just make you a leader in your community and you could get some really cool things done. And either way is super worthwhile.
True. And guys, what she's speaking about, that's pretty much what I'm doing in my local. I'm pretty much running as a precinct delegate, and so that literally gets me my foot in the door into all the state and local races, meeting with different candidates, and also possibly going up towards like the state of Michigan for the DNC convention, meet people there all over the state, and pretty much help campaign for different districts, especially when it comes to like rural areas that don't get a lot of representation. Henceforth, they don't get a lot of resources to kind of help win, because they figure that in the rural areas there's not a big competition there. There's no point in sending money there. What is like, as long as you stand up and say, hey, no, we need these resources here because we matter too. A lot of our issues may not be as big as those inner city issues, but we still have roads that need to get fixed. We still have schools that need to get upgraded. We still need infrastructure improvement all around. But because of the fact that we don't have those resources, you make our races that much harder to win. And especially like you said, with a lot of them being unopposed. Oh yeah, it happens. It happens more times than not.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like some people view like local and state races and city council races as like screamo, like it's this really like niche thing that so few people are into. How do you think we can get more people, particularly younger people, involved in local politics?
Yeah, that's the question, right? How can we get people more involved in politics, period? I mean, one sad thing is that it's the media only talks about the presidential election, so that's what everybody focuses on because that's all you hear about. So I would love to see more independent media, even just somebody with a YouTube channel could potentially make a huge difference in a local race. Because you don't need that many people. You don't even need that many viewers. Like you could start a brand new YouTube channel like tomorrow if you're interested in a certain political issue locally, start going around interviewing people. And even if you only end up with like 100 to like 500 subscribers, like it doesn't even matter. That could throw a local election to somebody, that supports your issue or that you like. And, you know, you can have a lot of influence at the local level. So I would say if there's, you know, Generation Z out there, I mean, you know how to use technology. Like you can start a YouTube channel, you can start a TikTok, you can start, you know, on your social media, and you can actually influence these races by making good content. And that's what people want. They need to see media to know about it. So you want to reach younger people to get them to vote, you have to reach them where they are. If they're on TikTok, you got to be on TikTok where they are, and they'll see it and they'll be like, whoa, cool. I had no idea I can register to vote. Like I can do it this way. It's so easy. Like they told me on TikTok how to do it, and there's a link, boom. And they do it. And then suddenly they see it again. It's like, oh, you should vote for this local, you know, race, like somebody's running. So we have to kind of meet people where they are. And the younger people aren't watching mainstream media hardly at all. So meet people where they are, meet them online, do a YouTube channel, do a TikTok, and get passionate about that issue. And you could swing a race, and you could be, you know, like as powerful as MSNBC in your little local town or district. It's definitely possible.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
That's a good point. Like, especially when you say like meet them where they are, because like, you know, like when you watch like commercials, like local commercials, like, well, for me personally, I barely watch like local news. I've been now because of coronavirus, but when I mainly would just stream Netflix or Hulu, and sometimes Hulu would have commercials. That's, you know, I'd only see like Mike Bloomberg, but like, you know, back in the day.
Yikes.
But no, that definitely like makes sense, and I could definitely see how that could work. Like, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, true.
And I do feel like the commercials for like local, but like it definitely seems like it, you know, kind of, you know, like they're using like the same old recipe from like years and years of like how to like make these political ads. So it's like it's for like the same demographic, and I guess it's just because like mainly older people vote. So you know, it's like, well, let's you know, why change the wheel? You know, like why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, yeah, you have to, if you meet people where they are, like I said, like I think that you could, because, you know, I mean, maybe that they're not watching that, but maybe they are on social media, and maybe, you know, they're going and checking their YouTube feed. And if they see something that says like, hey, their local town, you know, important issue in your local town while you're scrolling YouTube, and that could be very cheap to even do like a YouTube ad, like highly targeted to like a certain little area on a certain interest. And then it's like, boom, like you could have a YouTube channel, spend like $20 on advertising, and get suddenly like people local really excited about whatever you care about. So that's something to think about. Like sometimes we have to become the media. If we can't beat them, we got to become the media. And I encourage young people to do that. I mean, it's like we're doing it right now. This is independent media. So I keep it up. I mean, we got to keep doing it this way, because this is the power. I mean, this is where the power actually is like media and people being able to see you and know who the heck you are. If people don't see you and know who you are, it doesn't matter. Like none of it even matters. They're never gonna know. Like, and you can be the best person ever, but they didn't hear about you. And that's the saddest thing when somebody tells me, like, I still have people signing up to volunteer for me to this day, every single day. And then like they think I'm still running or something, you know, because they just didn't hear about me in time. And it's the saddest thing.
No.
I wish I would have known. And I'm like, I wish you did too. I wish I could have reached everybody, but I would need a lot of money to do that. So, you know, it's tough. So I mean, we got to become the media. We got to beat them at their own game, meet people where they are, and try to activate these people that aren't voting, because if you get those people activated, then that's a game changer. I mean, nothing really matters anymore. You know, we can do all kinds of things.
True.
I think a really other big part about it is education. I don't mean to sound like Erica, but a lot of people are highly uneducated about what like different levels of government actually do. Yeah. Like they think that, you know, in 2016 we're going to get Bernie in charge and he's going to snap his fingers and all the people in jail for marijuana are going to like walk out, and the prison industrial complex will go away. And and I feel like a lot of people, like there was a situation where like someone didn't let a kid go to prom because he had like dreadlocks or something like that, even though he passed all the classes. Yeah. And the school board has a hand in that, but I don't think anyone knows what the school board is or what they do. Until recently, I didn't even know the members of like my school board, the local government, the state government, who's on the city council, who's my chief of police. I just feel like I feel like with technology, we can make the education of the masses a lot easier. So I like what you're saying, Heidi.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's super important. And I encourage people because we don't really get taught civics this way, you know? We don't really get, where do you learn this stuff? And they don't teach it to us. And then you got to think, why aren't they teaching it to us? You know, like why do they not want us to know this stuff? Like, why are they not teaching it to us? They're teaching us all this other crap that's just like, oh, Columbus and all these things that you remember. And you're like, I do not care. Like, I don't care. Like, that doesn't help me at all. Like, the things that you're taught, the things that you remember from being a child, you're like, that's not helpful. Like, you should have taught me about money, how to do a budget, like how, like what a school board is, like how these decisions are made. Like, that would have been highly useful. So yeah, we need to change that for sure.
When you said Columbus, I was like, yeah, we just learned a whole bunch of lies, you know?
Like, what is this? You realize when you get older, you're like, oh my God, this was all just total lies and BS. And like, this is not how it went down. Like, this is not how it went down. So yeah, people don't learn a lot of that until they go to college, if they're privileged enough to make it to college,
Exactly,
if they got that opportunity. And that's not right, you know? We should be teaching children that. Children are smart. I'm sorry, but children are really, really smart. And if you give them the wrong information, you're messing them up because they will believe it like for a while until it's unveiled, you know? So I think that we need to realize that children are smarter than we are acting. Oh, what's up? Okay, yeah. I got to leave soon. So please, if there's any questions in the chat, I'm sorry to cut it short. I definitely want to come back again.
We
But,
would love to have you back.
if anybody has any questions, for sure, post them up. But it's been great being here, and I thank you guys. And I definitely want to come back for sure if you'll have me.
Heidi, you got me putting on my tinfoil hat now. You got me thinking. Like, I learned about the 3 branches of government for like 5 years. I learned about what happened in World War II a bunch of different times, but no one's like ever taught anyone in school what my school board does. And we're in school. Or the local government or the state government. That's,
you gotta think why do they not want us to know certain things? Why do they not want us to know about money? You know, why don't they teach us about how to manage money, just basic stuff like how to manage your actual money, how to invest? Like, they don't want us to know this stuff, you know? It's just crazy.
Oh man. Yang Gang Fitness, what's up?
Hey.
What's up, Yang Gang
I'm
Fitness?
joining right now. That's why I gotta go, because I gotta go lift for real. I'm gonna go join the That's why I gotta go, because I got a personal trainer because I gained like I don't even know how many pounds during COVID. So me and my wife, we like we got a trainer. She's pretty cool. So we go to her a few times a week because we're lazy. We're really lazy. We gotta fix this, but yeah.
Guys,
So
subscribe to Yang Gang Fitness on YouTube. They're posting videos now.
Oh,
True. Oh, all of them.
Is it like videos that teach us how to work out, or is it just like some guy working out?
Wow.
There's like one video. Actually, you're in the chat.
No, I'm still gonna subscribe. I'm not like trying to say. I'm just wondering what it is. Is it like how to do like?
All right. Well, I'll follow you, Yang Gang Fitness, and see what you're about. So
Yeah, I'm gonna subscribe too.
There you go.
I'm not a fan of that at all. Like, I don't like that. I thought that was actually a pretty good affordable housing law. I don't really like, bringing it back. And I also don't like the xenophobic, weirdly racist comment that he made about it with, not wanting affordable housing in the suburbs. It's just like, that's just like, oh my God, like what? It's just basically saying we only want rich people around us all the time and further dividing us even more. So I don't like that kind of divisiveness. I ran for office if you have. That's a good idea. I actually did join a high school Discord. They have a little political group in this local high school, and they invited me on, and I talked to them for like a couple hours on their Discord chat. So that was pretty fun. I mean, I definitely could do that. Kids do need to learn more, for sure, about the process and how it goes.
Yeah, you guys are asking.
All right, guys. Well, I do to go. I'm sorry to cut it short, but I look forward to coming back on for sure. So
yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much, Heidi. It was great to have you share your knowledge with us.
Absolutely.
Continue
all right, guys. You have a good night. Bye.
Yeah,
Good night.
Wow. So we've learned a lot, you guys, within the last,
like 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yes, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And just to kind of add on to what Heidi was saying, especially for those that are coming in, I know we got Holistic Heidi. She's in here. Hey, but a lot of people, they don't really realize that a lot of our local elections, especially the different offices, they really do go unopposed. And so if you're really interested in learning about what office is up for grabs, check it out. I know that there's a website that I posted on my Twitter. I'm gonna post it in the description box. It's called Voter Guide 411. It's a free website, and basically what it allows you to do is it allows you to see all of the races that are happening in your local area, who's pretty much running for those races, and if they have any questions that are on there, what their stances are towards those questions, especially when it comes to education, when it comes to police reform, when it comes to criminal justice, when it comes to immigration, a lot of the hot topic buttons.
Their COVID response.
Yeah, that requires like an actual thought out response. And it's really helpful. It's really helpful. So of course you get all of your state representatives, you get your Senate representatives, and you get your House of Representatives on the national level. You get those responses as well. And so if you're still kind of like on the fence of who you want to support, that would be a great resource. After this stream, I will post that in the description box so you guys can have it. And so that way, stay informed and stay abreast of who is trying to earn your vote and what their stances are.
I also want to shout out Yang Gang Fitness. I mean, you guys have been so freaking essential, the whole movement, the hashtag, the people supporting each other. Yeah. We got to admit, the Yang Gang on Twitter, especially on Twitter, was in a dark horse time. I mean, a dark time.
Oh, jeez.
And Gang Fitness came in and just, had this movement where everyone could just come together and improve. And I feel like that's what communities are supposed to do. True. We come together and eat, whether you're like the buffest guy in the gym or just a guy or just learning to walk a mile for the first time. It's about improving. It's about getting better. It's about getting to the next step. And it's brought us so much closer as a community. So Thank you guys. I'm subscribing to your channel and I would love to have you guys on the show when you guys get rolling.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. Anything else, guys?
Y'all better, Gang Fitness, y'all better hook up with Holistic Heidi. Sorry.
Yes.
Get hooked up with her because she will give y'all some stuff that will make you hurt in a good way. So I would say if you're looking for any professional, start off with her and go from there.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Sure.
I would love to see Amira with Gang Fitness on their channel. That'd be amazing.
Oh yes,
she's so knowledgeable.
Yeah,
she can even like reverse aging.
Yeah,
that's very true.
That part, yeah.
So if you're looking to, look younger, I would highly suggest.
Agreed.
Oh, thanks, Steven.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes. I think Holistic Heidi, she found the fountain of youth somewhere in her backyard. So
yeah. And then school once again taught us it was in St. Augustine, Florida. I was sitting there lying.
Oh.
With Columbus.
I just assumed it never existed for real.
Oh yeah.
Here, we love you.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I just love like seeing like everyone from like Reverend Wendy, Jermaine Johnson, and even people I've like never even like seen in the Yang Gang before. Mm-hmm. Just posting these workout videos. I'm like, hey, I can't let them beat me. I'm going running.
I
Come
do
on.
need to. Yeah, I need to put myself out there.
I know. Like,
Yeah.
I went for like a walk today with like my mom, but like, I always like forget that's like, yeah, I should probably like share that. And
And I like see people like working out in gyms. I'm kind of like, wait a minute.
You're right. Yeah. No, that's actually
You know,
like.
we ain't stopping.
I know it's off topic, but I'm like, hold on. Ow.
Yang fitness.
Hey, Mark. I see
Mark,
ya.
what's up, man?
What's up, Mark?
That's
Hello.
Oh, and yes, Meta, I am putting in the work. Oh, and you're welcome, Mira.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, we're trying to help you out. We're trying to put in that line in for you. We got you.
Yeah.
They
For
go
sure.
next.
All right.
Oh man.
All right. We got a lot of laughs. We got a lot of fun. Hopefully, you guys have learned something about local politics, about running for local politics. And if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please smash that like button. So at least that way, this channel can get put out into that algorithm of all the other YouTube channels. And we just want you guys to know that we support you guys. We thank you guys for, just being here with us and just encouraging us to keep going on. Because as time rolls on, as folks start running for elections and start campaigning, that we want to be that independent source where you can get, a very clear understanding of who's representing you and what their stances are. And so when it's time for you guys to go out and vote, you go out and vote for the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially those that are gang candidates. Yes, and yes. So
I think that would help a little bit. Maybe convincing Yang to endorse more like state level or council level people. Them getting big endorsements would probably like win them elections. I think that would be cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
it happened in some
people, like,
places.
They fly so under the radar. It's hard to even hear about them.
True.
Yeah.
I guess it's up to like the Yang gang to get out there and just tell them about who's doing their thing out here, who's pushing for these policies. Oh, and shout out to Reverend Wendy. That was incredible. I saw that.
Yeah.
She inspires me so much. I love seeing her posts.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
All right, I'm done holding us up.
Okay. So again, do like Mark said, to activate that bell so you guys will always be notified when we go live. Again, this is MCOY. We are signing off until next time. We love you guys. Be easy and have fun.